Alright, first ever video installing iBoards, 5-inch wheel-to-wheel running boards on a 2015 Silverado. Came in 2 packages, 2 boards, and got all the parts. I spray painted the brackets just to give them a little extra coat, as a few people have said that they have had some rust after about a year, so just a little bit would extra help. But package set of instructions are on some, looks like copied paper and stapled together. But I have, since it's wheel to wheel, there's an extra bracket for each side with some large spacers to install underneath the back bed of the truck, that part. So this will be a little bit longer than the normal cab install. Alright, here we are under the driver's side. Front tire, the front hole. We're going to remove this cap with a screwdriver. We're going to skip the second hole, and we're going to go to the third and the fourth. There's 2 caps on the third and the fourth. Get some light down there. And then we'll install the other board on the bed. You have to mount a bracket underneath that one. I'll show you that one in just a little bit. So let's try and get this little cap off. Use a flat screwdriver. Gonna pry underneath. Alright, we took that off. Let's slide the little lock clip right underneath here. Should line up with that hole. Other videos I've seen them slip around, so be careful. You don't want to drop it down in the back. You won't get it out. And we need another clip for the front. And it slides right over that hole. Now our mounting bracket's gonna sit right underneath that, right on top of that clip on the inside there. I'm only doing this with one hand, so I'm stopping periodically. Alright, there we go. Lock washer, regular washer, flat washer, and the bolt that came with it. I think that's a 12 millimeter, but hand tightened. Tighten everything down after we get the boards on. That's how it's going to stick out. Decided cold day in January to install these. I advise you probably wait till the summer, maybe a little bit easier, but I was getting tired of climbing in the truck, and the wife really needs help. She's a lot shorter. Alright, I got 2 brackets on. This one, you'll notice the hole was a little bit below where the bolt is, so that clip wanted to keep sliding. But I found it, if I put the bolt through the bracket and then held it up there and into the clip, it helped hold it into place. So I did tighten it down with the socket, and it was a 13 millimeter socket. Just a little hand tighten. It's still wobbly, but got it snug up there a little bit. I'll tighten them all down once we get the boards on. On to bracket number 3, driver's side. You got the third bracket, the clip in, took the little plug out. Remember, this is the 4th hole, not the 3rd one in the row. 3rd one's right here, left empty. 4th one, 3rd bracket. Clip in behind, it wants to slide a little bit, but I'll try to put that bolt through before. Okay, since this is a wheel-to-wheel install, there are 2 bolts that are 30 millimeters long compared to the rest of the bolts that are 25 millimeters long, and those 2 are for the back, the bed of the truck. And I installed them, just grabbed a couple bolts and put them on the brackets earlier, so I had to take those out and find them. So don't make that mistake. This is for wheel-to-wheel install. Alright, got the front 3 back on after my finding the longer bolts. That longer bolt is going to go in this one. We're going to take that one out and install a new bolt. That big one gets reused. This is a ground wire. I'm right by the gas tank back here on the driver's side, so have to fit our bracket up here. And where'd that go? Gotta find it. Here it is. I got it. Gotta work around this ground wire, but it's upside down right now. Gonna turn it around so that there we go. It's gonna fit right up here, and I hope this little tab, I think it's out of the way. It looks like it. So get those out and install that. Alright, reinstalled the larger bolt, and forgot that there is a spacer washer that goes behind this, and I believe it's probably because of the frame space underneath, so that this is equal. So I'm gonna put this, and I'm also adding some anti-seize to the bolts. Forgot to mention that earlier, just in case. Not sure if it's gonna need it, as these are, I think they're brass, or but we'll see. Extra help. Not sure if it works or not, but hopefully I won't have to take them out. Alright, gonna have this bracket installed. There's a spacer that goes on top, and the bolts that came with the kit are gonna be replacing and going up. Not replacing, but going right in the middle of the bracket, right up there. Alright, it's up there. I will have to tighten it later, as this is a single bolt, and this can pivot and turn, and I'll have to wait till I get the boards on before I can tighten that down and line it up. Alright, got all four installed, and we'll have to go to the other side, then we'll do the boards. Alright, passenger side, back bracket went a whole lot easier, just probably because I practiced on the driver's side. I'm on the second bracket from the passenger side before I get to the really screwy front one. But one hint is that these brackets, they're able to slide here. They can go up and down. So if you don't tighten that one, you can adjust it up and down, but then tighten up the bottom one, so that'll help line it up. Because if you tighten the top and the bottom's too far down, you'll never get the bottom close enough until you loosen the top. So just a hint. Alright, got the front passenger. This is the screwy one. I think it's because if this is a diesel, there's a tank here, and just to keep the parts the same for all the vehicles, they have this contraption. This bracket, there's a nut already on here, so that when you install the step, a lot of people said this is the part that they had trouble with. I could do this one-handed if I could. Comes from the front towards the back, and then you bolt the bottom underneath, and then from the front into that nut, and that one's tightened up in there. So I'm gonna do that next. Alright, installed the screws. I'll show you on the next one on how I installed them, but wanted to get moving as it's getting late. But put the boards on. I lined up the board with the front of the door. Alright, as you can tell, it's winter and it's getting a little dark, but got the passenger side on and held very good. I used a driver to do the nuts on the bottom of the board. Alright, this is how I did the bolts, and there's a groove on the bottom. The bolts slide in either end. There's some spot here, it's hard to do with one hand, but and a camera, but slide in, and They slide real easy. I didn't measure them out, I just spaced them. And I'll carry this over to the brackets, set them on, and then I laid underneath and just moved the bolts till they fell in the hole, then moved on to the next one and it fell in the hole. Just a little time consuming for one person. 2 people would be helpful. Alright, underneath, just screwdriver found slides them easier. You don't have to get your fingers in there. But line them up with the bracket. You notice the bracket still moves, as I will lock it down after I get these bolts in the hole. Sometimes finger help. That one, and hard to tell. And it sets in, and I pulled it out, and I will go down to the next one and install the next one, and then I'll lock these down after I get the little screws, the bolts and the washers on. Alright, sorry that's so dark, but got the bolts in underneath, and I'm gonna put the nuts and washers on, tighten her down, lock down the brackets, and I'll be good to go. I'll try to take a picture after during the daytime. Alright, finally got it daytime. Nice out. Wheel, iBoard, running towards 2015 Chevy Silverado. It went on really easy. The only thing is you can see the bolts if you get underneath in that shiny bolt heads. So maybe you want to paint those, but you got to get low to see them. I'd buy these again so far. We'll see how they are in a year. They don't stick out too far. Thanks for watching my first video, first install. Hope it helped.